kg. To alleviate household pressures, the government is selling tomatoes through cooperatives at a subsidized wholesale rate of 80 rupees per kg in Delhi NCR and in some other cities as well. With July and August being lean months for tomatoes, where are the prices likely headed? To discuss this, we are joined by now Sanjay Gupta. He's Managing Director at National Commodities Management Services Limited. Mr. Gupta, hi, thank you so much for joining us. And 250 to 260 rupees a kg means that in a month we've seen tomato prices gain up by nearly 350%. And even as the government has made a push and we've seen prices being curbed, at the retail level in many markets, we still are looking at prices at around 200 rupees per kg. One, how do you see this price rise? Is much bad news factored in by now?
Steve, as I said, this is tomato has a vegetable has a very short shelf life. So whatever we are seeing is a supply shock which is coming in because of the bad weather, coupled with a disease or pest attack in the standing crop in the tomato growing areas at this time. We are talking about the summer month which has just gone by. So this I believe that this is going to last for another 1.5 months before the fresh crop starts kicking in. And as of now, because we are seeing the excess rains happening in the areas where Kharif tomato is sown, so which is likely to be delayed again. So I believe for next 1.5 to 2 months, we'll have to make do with these kind of prices of tomato. After that only we will see some relief. Okay, government is making an effort, but to be realistic, government can't really make an impact because the volume handled by the government is not sufficient to bring down the prices. So another 2 months more of pain in tomato prices, then we will see easing out of these tomato prices.
There are various reports, Mr. Gupta, that the prices could inch up to 300 rupees a kg before we start seeing a meaningful decline in prices. Are you anticipating that kind of a price run?
I believe so. If we continue like this and the rains in the northern India continues the way it is, I believe we can see, we have seen already 250, maybe another 10% spike can happen before the demand contraction will start kicking in. So people will move away from tomato. That will bring down the prices a bit. But I don't see anything less than 200 rupees for the next 1.5 to 2 months.
What's your also sense on the crop right now? I mean, as you said, that there are various concerns, right, starting right from erratic monsoon to the various diseases that we've seen into the crop. But there also are reports on how the farmers are raking in crores of rupees who have had good quality of tomatoes. What's your sense on how long this could continue?
As I said earlier, this is another cycle. Tomato is a crop which takes about 60 days to 65 days from the date of transplantation. So another 1.5 months, this is the time when the transplantation must be happening in the areas where the rains have stopped. So now minimum 1.5 months before we see any supply increase, which will put the pressure on tomato prices. But for 1.5 months or maybe 2 months, the tomato prices will remain as it is.
Mr. Gupta, also, while the government has come in to intervene and they are creating a buffer stock, they're buying at higher level, selling at a lower level. And this is not just tomato. I mean, we have seen that happen in various other vegetables and condiments as well. Ginger is one, onion seems to be the other one. You talk about a vegetable and almost everybody seems to be looking at the same fate. What is it that the government can do different here from here on?
See, in other crops like potato and onion, you have a longer shelf life. So I believe the government has many ways of controlling it. Exports banning or even imports can happen. But the problem in tomato is, as it is, it's a very delicate vegetable. So imports do not happen. Imports are not feasible. Exports are not much. The fresh exports used to happen to Pakistan a lot. But since we have closed down the road transport with them, so now tomato is more or less a local phenomena. So we will see some pressure coming down from the processing industry as they will start shifting their production from fresh tomatoes to imported tomato paste, which comes in from China or US. So that extent, processing demand will come down. But for the retail, fresh, table, vegetable market, this will continue till the time supply picks up. And that is dependent on the rain and the crop cycle and whatever is the time it takes to grow tomato. So minimum 2 months. I would say my guess is we will not see those 20, 30 rupees kind of a prices going forward.
All right. What is the best case scenario then that you see for tomatoes?
Sorry?
What is the best case scenario then you see in sense of prices for tomatoes?
So we have to develop alternate recipes to avoiding tomatoes. As of now, if you want to consume tomato, that is the only way. Prices are going to remain high. The production is really very down. As of now, see the whatever tomatoes we are consuming in, say, I live in NCR. So NCR, it's all coming from faraway places. So transportation, this weather also puts in a problem because the transportation cycles are get delayed. So there is no short respite. There is a small crop which comes up in UP. Kharif sowings happen, but there we are seeing a huge excess rainfall. So there again, transplantings would have been delayed. So by 15th of August, we will get some freedom from these high prices. Before that, I don't see anything.
Mr. Gupta, just a final question. So what do you think that the government could have done differently? Because we did see farmers throwing away tomatoes not too far back when they did not even get their cost of production within tomatoes. I remember buying it at 10, 12, 15 rupees a kg. And that is a time that many APMC guys told us that this is the time to start creating a buffer because the crop is perishable, will not sustain, we'll have to throw it. There is a time then you will see expensive vegetable prices also. The government did not buy it at 10, 12 and 20. It bought it at 135. What would you say could have been done differently here?
See, this year, if you look at tomato, in the past also have gone through cycles. In fact, 250 is kind of an unheard of, but I have seen 100 rupees, 120 rupees for tomato coming in. But this price spike is coming after a gap of, I think, 2.5 years. After, I think, COVID, this is the first time we are seeing such good price, such high prices for tomato. So the government had limited things at its disposal. Tomato, as I said, the perishability is very high, the storability is very low. Even if the government wants to store tomatoes, but the quantity would not be sufficient to make any meaningful impact on the prices. So even though government could have stored, or maybe some processing could have been done to convert it into paste by way of processing, which could have been sold by way of puree or something. But still, I would say India is a fresh table tomato market mostly. People like to buy fresh fruits or fresh vegetables and consume. So this is the kind of cycle which we'll see. But this will also lead to an impact in the sense now the acreages, the prices are so good. Acreages under tomato will suddenly see a spike. And for the next 1 year or so, we will have a situation where the tomato prices will remain under control. So this is a fate of the crop which have a very short growing cycle, and tomato and most of the vegetables follow that cycle. So this is expected, but this is unprecedented because of the weather. Hopefully, this kind of weather vagaries will not be in the future and we will not see such a high price. But this happens once in a while and it is expected. I wouldn't say it is abnormal. In the past also, there are cycles when tomatoes sell at 50 paisa a kg at the farm gate, and now the farmers are getting it at about 150 to 200 rupees. So this is a part and parcel of the game. This is the nature of the commodity, and this is the way it is.
I really hope that this once in a while doesn't happen too often. But as you said, yes, at least one sector of the stakeholders is making money, and that clearly has been the farmers. Mr. Gupta, thank you so much for joining us and talking in detail about that vegetable which is making headlines for many days now. Well, it's not just about tomatoes.